holding a tablet that was written thousands of years ago and being able to read what it says. It's an amazing feeling.
For centuries, the enigmatic clay tablets of ancient Sumer have whispered secrets from humanity's distant past. Inscribed with mysterious symbols and astronomical markings, these artifacts have tantalized archaeologists and historians alike.
This little piece of clay from the library's collections is packed full of information from 4,200 years ago.
But perhaps the most perplexing of all are the so-called Stargate tablets, ancient records that some believe contain instructions for traversing the cosmos. Now, after millennia of silence, these tablets may finally be ready to speak.
The tablet itself mentions the city of Zabala, which is in South Iraq.
A groundbreaking international research initiative set for completion in 2025 promises to decipher what could be humanity's oldest astronomical manual, or perhaps something far more extraordinary. Using cutting-edge technology and interdisciplinary approaches, scientists stand on the threshold of potentially rewriting our understanding of what our ancestors knew about the stars and possibly how to reach them. To truly grasp the significance of these tablets, we must first journey back to the cradle of civilization itself. The Sumerians emerged in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 4500 BCE, creating one of history's first advanced civilizations between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This remarkable culture invented writing, developed complex mathematics, established sophisticated legal codes, and engineered impressive irrigation systems that transformed arid landscapes into fertile agricultural paradises. But what truly sets the Sumerians apart was their extraordinary obsession with the cosmos. Long before telescopes or modern astronomical tools, these ancient scholars tracked celestial bodies with remarkable precision. Their astronomical knowledge wasn't merely impressive, it was seemingly impossible for their era. Sumerian texts describe all planets in our solar system, including Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which shouldn't have been visible to the naked eye. This astronomical anomaly has puzzled historians for generations. The Sumerians also possessed an advanced understanding of mathematics that enabled precise astronomical predictions. They used a sexagesimal, base 60 system that we still use today for measuring time and angles. Their 12-month calendar based on lunar cycles shows sophisticated tracking of celestial movements with intercalation methods to align with solar years that reveal a profound understanding of astronomical cycles. Their creation myths recorded in texts like the Enuma Elish frequently reference celestial events and cosmic origins. These stories often describe their gods, the Anunnaki, as literally descending from the heavens. Many Sumerian depictions show these deities associated with stars and celestial symbols, suggesting a culture deeply connected to the cosmos on multiple levels. The controversial Stargate tablets. Among the hundreds of thousands of clay tablets recovered from ancient Mesopotamia, a small collection stands apart, distinctive not only for their unusual markings but for the controversy they've sparked across archaeological communities worldwide. The Stargate tablets, as they've come to be known, were first unearthed in the 1920s during excavations at the ancient city of Ur by British archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley, though their significance wasn't immediately recognized. These particular tablets, dating approximately to 3200 BCE, differ dramatically from typical administrative or literary Sumerian texts. Made from a uniquely fine clay found only in specific regions of ancient Mesopotamia, they feature an intricate combination of cuneiform writing alongside precise geometric patterns, astronomical symbols, and what appear to be star charts or celestial maps. Most intriguing are the recurring portal-like motifs, concentric circles with radiating lines that have defied conventional interpretation. What makes these tablets truly perplexing is their physical composition. Analysis reveals traces of unusual minerals not commonly found in other Mesopotamian artifacts, including significant quantities of gold, mica, and unusual crystalline structures embedded within the clay itself. Some tablets even contain small amounts of materials that appear to have undergone vitrification, a process requiring extremely high temperatures not typically achieved in ancient kilns. The location of their discovery adds another layer of mystery. Unlike most Sumerian texts found in libraries or administrative buildings, these tablets were sealed within a small, carefully constructed chamber beneath one of Ur's most ancient ziggurats, temple towers believed to connect Earth with heaven. This ceremonial placement suggests these weren't ordinary records but objects of profound significance, perhaps used in rituals focused on celestial observation or communication. Most controversial are the specific astronomical alignments depicted on the tablets. They appear to show configurations of stars and planets that, according to some astronomers who've studied them, wouldn't have been visible during the era of their creation. This anomaly has led to heated debates about whether the tablets represent actual observations, theoretical predictions, or something entirely different, encoded information passed down from an even earlier unknown source. Previous decoding attempts. The journey to understand the Stargate tablets has been fraught with false starts, academic controversies, and tantalizing near breakthroughs spanning almost a century of scholarly investigation. The earliest serious attempt came in the 1930s when Thorkild Jacobsen, the renowned Danish Assyriologist, spent 3 years studying the unusual markings only to conclude they represented a specialized astronomical notation system unlike standard Sumerian writing. His promising work was interrupted by World War II and many of his preliminary notes were lost during the conflict. In the 1950s, linguist Samuel Noah Kramer identified similarities between certain symbols on the tablets and astronomical references in other Sumerian texts, particularly the Mulapin Compendium, an ancient astronomical catalogue. Kramer suggested the tablets might represent a kind of astronomical manual, but was unable to decode the specific system they employed. His comparative approach established an important methodological foundation, though the tablet's core meaning remained elusive. The 1970s saw a more controversial approach by Russian scholar Zechariah Sitchin, who proposed the tablets contained information about extraterrestrial contact. While his theories gained popular attention, they were dismissed by mainstream academia. However, his work did inadvertently draw renewed scholarly interest to these neglected artifacts, leading to their re-examination using more rigorous methods. A significant breakthrough came in 1996 when Egyptologist and astronomer Robert Bauval collaborated with Mesopotamian specialist Dr. Amira Hussein to analyze the geometric patterns on the tablets. Using computer modeling, they demonstrated that certain configurations appeared to map celestial alignments visible from Mesopotamia during specific periods. Their research suggested the tablets might document rare astronomical phenomena or serve as predictive tools for celestial events, yet the specific purpose remained unclear. The most comprehensive attempt prior to current efforts came from the International Ancient Astronomy Consortium between 2008 and 2012. Their multidisciplinary team created the first complete digital scans of the tablets and identified previously unnoticed microscopic markings that appeared only under specific lighting conditions. They concluded that the tablets functioned as a complex astronomical calculator, but acknowledged that roughly 40% of the symbols remained untranslatable using known Sumerian linguistic frameworks. Breakthrough technologies enabling new discoveries. The quantum leap in our ability to decode these enigmatic tablets stems from a remarkable convergence of cutting-edge technologies that wouldn't have been possible even 5 years ago. Today's archaeological sciences have moved far beyond brushes and shovels into the realm of molecular analysis and artificial intelligence, creating unprecedented opportunities to peer into the past with extraordinary clarity. Perhaps the most transformative advancement has been the development of multi-spectral imaging systems, MSIS, specifically calibrated for ancient clay materials. Unlike conventional photography that captures only visible light, these specialized systems analyze artifacts across the electromagnetic spectrum, from ultraviolet through infrared and beyond. When applied to the Stargate tablets in 2023, researchers at the British Museum discovered previously invisible layers of information. Trace pigments and organic compounds that had faded over millennia suddenly became visible, revealing intricate patterns and markings that had been hidden from all previous examinations. Complementing this imaging revolution is quantum computing linguistic analysis, pioneered by a joint MIT-Oxford research team. This system can process and compare linguistic patterns across hundreds of ancient languages simultaneously, a task that would take conventional computers decades to complete. By analyzing the tablets against the entire corpus of known Sumerian texts and related Akkadian, Babylonian, and Elamite writings, the system identified subtle grammatical and symbolic patterns that human scholars had missed, establishing new translation pathways for previously undecipherable sections. Nanomaterial analysis has provided another crucial breakthrough. Using non-destructive neutron activation techniques, scientists can now identify the precise chemical composition and geographic origin of clay artifacts at the microscopic level. This process revealed that certain sections of the tablets contain traces of materials from regions far beyond Mesopotamia, including minerals found only in the Indus Valley and even small amounts of meteoric iron. These discoveries suggest a level of trade and knowledge exchange previously unknown, potentially connecting the tablets to a much wider network of ancient astronomical observers. 3D molecular reconstruction technologies developed for medical imaging have been repurposed to examine the tablets' physical creation process. By analyzing microscopic tool marks and clay compression patterns, researchers can now determine the exact sequence in which the tablets were inscribed, revealing a sophisticated, multi-stage composition process that suggests these weren't casual recordings but carefully planned scientific documents. Perhaps most revolutionary has been the application of cultural evolution algorithms, a specialized form of artificial intelligence designed to model the development and transmission of ideas across ancient civilizations. By analyzing thousands of cultural artifacts from multiple ancient societies, these systems can identify patterns of knowledge diffusion and conceptual development. When applied to the astronomical concepts in the Stargate tablets, these algorithms revealed striking parallels with astronomical knowledge systems from other ancient cultures, suggesting a possible common origin or exchange network previously unrecognized by historians. The 2025 Deciphering Project. The ambitious initiative set to culminate in 2025 represents the most comprehensive attempt ever mounted to unlock the secrets of these ancient texts. Formerly known as the Sumerian Cosmological Texts Initiative, SCTI, this 5-year project brings together an unprecedented coalition of experts from 23 countries working across traditionally separate disciplines. At the project's core is the remarkable leadership team that defies conventional academic boundaries. Dr. Elisa Ramirez, a computational linguist who pioneered machine learning approaches to ancient languages, serves as the primary investigator. She's joined by Dr. Wei Chang, an astrophysicist specializing in archaeoastronomy, Professor Anand Mehta, whose background bridges archaeology and quantum computing, and Dr. Fatima Al-Zahawi, the world's leading authority on early Mesopotamian astronomical texts. This intentionally diverse leadership reflects the project's fundamental philosophy that ancient knowledge systems often integrated sciences we now consider separate. The methodology employed by the SCTI team is as innovative as its composition. Rather than approaching the tablets as either purely linguistic texts or astronomical records, they're analyzing them as integrated knowledge systems that potentially encoded multiple layers of information simultaneously. Their approach combines traditional philological analysis with advanced computational modeling in 3 parallel work streams. The first work stream employs what they've termed cultural context reconstruction, using AI to analyze thousands of contemporaneous Sumerian texts to establish comprehensive linguistic and cultural frameworks that might illuminate the tablet's purpose. This computational ethnography creates a more authentic cultural lens through which to interpret symbolic meanings. Simultaneously, the second workstream applies celestial alignment retrospective mapping, reconstructing precisely how the night sky would have appeared from Sumer during different eras. Using advanced astronomical modeling, the team can simulate celestial observations spanning thousands of years, testing whether the tablet markings correspond to actual astronomical phenomena visible to ancient Sumerians. The third and perhaps most innovative workstream employs multidimensional pattern analysis. treating the tablets not simply as two-dimensional texts, but as three-dimensional objects with potential meaning encoded in their physical properties. This includes analyzing microscopic wear patterns that might indicate how the tablets were physically used in astronomical observation or ritual practices. What makes 2025 the pivotal year is the scheduled completion of the team's custom-built decoding algorithm, an AI system trained on the complete corpus of Mesopotamian writings and astronomical data. This system, requiring 5 years of development and training, will integrate all 3 work streams to propose comprehensive translations and interpretations that account for linguistic, astronomical, and cultural dimensions simultaneously. Celestial connections in Sumerian texts. Celestial connections in Sumerian texts. The Sumerians' relationship with the heavens extended far beyond casual observation. It formed the backbone of their civilization, weaving through their religion, governance, architecture, and daily life. Their astronomical legacy, preserved in thousands of clay tablets, reveals a society that oriented its entire existence around celestial movements with remarkable precision and purpose. At the most fundamental level, Sumerian star catalogues demonstrate knowledge of over 7,000 celestial objects, an astonishing feat for naked-eye observers. Their Mul-Apin texts, named after their opening words meaning the plough star, categorize stars into 3 distinct paths across the sky, corresponding roughly to our modern concepts of celestial zones. What makes these observations remarkable is their accuracy. When modern astronomers recreate the Mesopotamian night sky from 3000 BCE, the Sumerian descriptions match with precision that implies centuries of systematic observation. The Sumerians divided the sky into 12 major sections, corresponding to their zodiac, a system we still use today. Their records show they tracked the precise movements of planets, which they called wandering stars, including sophisticated observations of retrograde motions. Most impressive was their ability to predict celestial events like eclipses using mathematical models based on observed cycles, recorded in texts like the famous Venus Tablet of Amisaduqa, which charts Venus appearances over a 21-year period with startling accuracy. Architecturally, the Sumerians manifested their cosmic knowledge in physical structures. Recent archaeological analysis confirms that major ziggurats were precisely aligned with specific celestial events. The Great Ziggurat at Ur, near where the Stargate tablets were discovered, aligns perfectly with the heliacal rising of specific star clusters associated in Sumerian texts with their creator deities. These massive structures weren't merely symbolic, they functioned as observational platforms where priests could track and celestial movements against architectural features specifically designed as sighting mechanisms. What truly distinguishes Sumerian astronomical texts from those of other ancient cultures is their emphasis on cosmic connectivity. Their creation epic, the Enuma Elish, doesn't merely reference stars metaphorically, it describes the physical universe as a living network where celestial bodies influence earthly events through quantifiable patterns. This concept of cosmic correspondence appears repeatedly in their astronomical texts, suggesting they viewed the universe as an interconnected system rather than simply a collection of separate objects to be observed. The Stargate tablets appear to represent the culmination of this astronomical tradition, containing what some researchers now believe to be instructions for tracking specific celestial alignments that occur only at rare intervals of several centuries. These alignments, according to preliminary translations, were considered moments when cosmic barriers thinned, creating opportunities for communication with celestial realms. Rather than mere superstition, these concepts were expressed through portal concepts in ancient cultures. The notion of cosmic portals, gateways connecting our world to other realms, emerges with remarkable consistency across ancient civilizations that had no contact with each other, suggesting either a universal human intuition or perhaps observations of phenomena we no longer recognize. This cross-cultural pattern provides essential context for understanding the Sumerian Stargate tablets and their potential significance. In ancient Egypt, texts like the Book of Gates and the Amduat describe in elaborate detail the sun god Ra's nightly journey through a series of gates or portals between the visible world and the Duat, underworld. These weren't merely metaphorical passages, but specifically described locations where the boundary between realms could be traversed under precise astronomical conditions. The Egyptian false doors found in tombs weren't symbolic, they were considered functional transit points for the deceased to move between cosmic domains. Half a world away, pre-Columbian Mesoamerican civilizations independently developed strikingly similar concepts. The Maya described celestial portals called wormwood stars that opened during specific astronomical alignments, particularly during conjunctions involving Venus. Their stepped pyramids often contained chambers designed to align with these celestial events, creating spaces where priests could allegedly communicate across cosmic boundaries during precisely calculated windows of opportunity. In Vedic India, ancient texts describe cosmic doorways called Brahmarandra that connect the physical world to higher dimensions. These passages were associated with specific star systems, particularly the Pleiades constellation, and were said to become accessible during rare celestial alignments. Sanskrit writings provide complex calculations for determining when these cosmic thresholds would open, suggesting this wasn't merely metaphysical speculation but a practiced observational science. Norse mythology similarly describes Bifrost, the rainbow bridge connecting Earth to Asgard, as becoming visible only during specific celestial conditions. The Vikings, accomplished navigators who tracked astronomical movements with sophisticated methods, associated certain star patterns with these gateway openings and timed significant voyages to coincide with them. Chinese astronomical records from the Han Dynasty document heavenly gates, Tianmen, that were carefully tracked by imperial astronomers. These were associated with specific asterisms and planetary conjunctions that allegedly created opportunities for communication between earthly and celestial realms. The precise mathematical tables used to predict these openings suggest they were tracking actual astronomical phenomena rather than purely mythological constructs. What unifies these seemingly disparate traditions is their consistent association of cosmic gateways with precise astronomical observations. These weren't vague religious concepts, but specific calculable phenomena tied to celestial mechanics. Each culture independently developed mathematical systems to predict when these portals would align, suggesting they were observing something tangible, even if interpreted through their cultural framework. Preliminary findings from the tablet translations. While the complete decoding awaits the project's 2025 culmination, preliminary translations have already yielded fascinating insights that challenge conventional understanding of ancient astronomical knowledge. Working with approximately 40% of the tablet content that corresponds to known Sumerian linguistic patterns, researchers have assembled a partial but compelling picture of their purpose and significance. The most substantial breakthrough came in late 2023 when Dr. Fatima Al-Zahawi's team successfully translated a recurring phrase previously misidentified as a religious invocation. The phrase Aban Sha'are Shama, once thought to mean stone of heaven's blessing, more accurately translates as the stone marker of the sky portal Jok Gateway. This revised translation shifted the entire interpretive framework, suggesting the tablets served as technical manuals for identifying specific celestial configurations rather than religious texts. Further translation revealed mathematical notations describing precise angular measurements between celestial bodies. These measurements correspond to extremely rare planetary alignments occurring approximately every 2,150 years, matching the precessional cycle of the equinoxes. The tablets appear to track 7 specific alignment configurations involving Jupiter, Venus, and particular star clusters in the Pleiades constellation, with each alignment lasting only 8 to 12 days before the celestial bodies move out of position. Most intriguing are the sections describing specific locations on Earth where these celestial alignments should be observed. The tablets identify 7 geographical coordinates, described using Sumerian distance measurements from known cities, forming a pattern across Mesopotamia, the Caucasus region, and parts of what is now Turkey. When mapped, these locations form a geometric pattern mirroring specific star configurations, suggesting an understanding of celestial-terrestrial correspondence that wasn't thought to exist until much later astronomical traditions. The tablets also contain what appears to be observational protocols, precise instructions for activities to be performed during these alignments. These include positioning of specific minerals and metals at exact angles relative to the observed celestial bodies, and the recitation of sound sequences that modern acoustic analysis suggests would create specific vibrational patterns. Whether these represented scientific measurements, religious rituals, or something entirely different remains unclear without the complete translation. Perhaps most unexpected was the discovery of what linguists have tentatively identified as warning passages. These sections emphasize the importance of precise timing and preparation, with repetitive phrases translated approximately as "failure brings the great darkness" and "incorrect alignment severs the path." These cautionary notes suggest the observations weren't merely astronomical record-keeping but served some practical purpose where accuracy was crucial. What remains untranslated are the unique symbolic elements that don't correspond to known Sumerian writing, the very sections that may contain the most significant information. The project team theorizes these symbols may represent a specialized technical notation system specifically developed for astronomical operations, similar to how modern scientific fields develop specialized notations that wouldn't be recognized as standard language. Scientific consensus versus alternative theories. The emerging translations have created a fascinating divide in the scientific community, with interpretations ranging from conservative archaeological assessments to more radical reconsiderations of ancient capabilities. This spectrum of perspectives illuminates the challenge of interpreting such anomalous artifacts through modern scientific frameworks. The mainstream archaeological position, represented by scholars like Dr. Eleanor Weston of Cambridge University, maintains that the tablets likely represent sophisticated astronomical observations, but interprets them within conventional understandings of ancient capabilities. This school of thought suggests the Sumerians were indeed tracking celestial alignments, but for calendrical, agricultural, and religious purposes. The portal terminology, they argue, simply reflects the metaphorical language ancient cultures used to describe astronomical phenomena they couldn't explain physically. Contrasting this view is the advanced astronomical knowledge hypothesis championed by astrophysicist Dr. James Chen, who argues that the mathematical precision in the tablets cannot be dismissed as coincidental. His analysis demonstrates that certain calculations in the tablets accurately predict celestial events that would only be visible once every several centuries. This suggests either an astronomical tradition spanning thousands of years or knowledge acquired through some means we don't yet understand. Crucially, Chen's position remains within scientific frameworks while acknowledging anomalous levels of ancient knowledge. More controversial is the cultural diffusion theory proposed by anthropologist Dr. Sofia Rodriguez. She suggests the similarities between Sumerian portal concepts and those in other ancient cultures indicate a common source of astronomical knowledge that spread globally in prehistoric times. While rejected by traditional archaeological models that emphasize independent cultural development, her statistical analysis of cross-cultural astronomical knowledge shows patterns difficult to explain through coincidence alone. At the furthest end of the spectrum are researchers like Dr. Alexander Kaplan, whose technological interpretation hypothesizes that the tablets might describe actual technological methods for utilizing natural electromagnetic phenomena associated with certain planetary alignments. While speculative, his team has demonstrated that specific mineral combinations mentioned in the tablets do create measurable electromagnetic effects when arranged according to the described patterns. The scientific establishment generally favors explanations that minimize historical discontinuities, suggesting the tablets represent impressive but understandable ancient astronomy rather than anomalous knowledge. However, even conservative scholars acknowledge that certain aspects of the tablets, particularly their mathematical precision, remain difficult to explain within conventional models of ancient capabilities. What makes this debate particularly significant is that it transcends the usual science versus pseudoscience dichotomy. Respected researchers across multiple disciplines acknowledge the tablets contain genuinely anomalous information while disagreeing about its implications. The complete translations may not resolve these theoretical divisions, but will provide essential evidence for evaluating competing explanations. Implications for our understanding of ancient knowledge. If the preliminary translations hold true under further analysis, the implications extend far beyond Mesopotamian archaeology, potentially transforming our understanding of ancient knowledge systems and human history itself. These implications ripple across multiple disciplines, challenging fundamental assumptions about the development of human science and civilization. First, the sophisticated astronomical calculations evident in the tablets suggest a much longer development of systematic celestial observation than previously acknowledged. For such precise tracking of rare astronomical alignments to exist, the Sumerians would have needed observational data spanning multiple centuries or even millennia. This implies either an unknown predecessor civilization that transferred this knowledge to them, or astronomical record-keeping extending much deeper into prehistory than current evidence supports. The tablets also challenge our understanding of ancient mathematical capabilities. The geometric and trigonometric concepts embedded in their astronomical calculations appear centuries before such mathematics was thought to have developed. This suggests either an independent development of advanced mathematics in Mesopotamia that wasn't preserved in later traditions, or the possibility that mathematical knowledge has experienced cycles of development and loss throughout human history rather than steady linear progression. Perhaps most significantly, the tablets blur our modern distinction between ancient astronomy and cosmology. Contemporary science separates observational astronomy, tracking celestial bodies, from theoretical cosmology, understanding the universe's structure. The tablets suggest the Sumerians integrated these concepts, seeing cosmic structure and celestial movements as aspects of a unified system that connected to terrestrial events. This holistic approach to natural phenomena represents a fundamentally different paradigm for understanding the universe than our current specialized disciplines. The engineering implications are equally profound. If the Sumerians could calculate and predict complex celestial alignments with the precision suggested by the tablets, they possessed geometric and mathematical knowledge sufficient for sophisticated engineering feats. This might explain certain anomalous aspects of early Mesopotamian architecture that have puzzled archaeologists, such as the precise astronomical alignments of structures built millennia before the mathematical principles for such calculations were supposedly developed. For anthropology and the history of religion, the tablets suggest that what we've categorized as religious or mythological texts from ancient civilizations might actually contain encoded scientific knowledge expressed through cultural frameworks different from our own. The portals or gateways described in ancient texts worldwide might represent systematic observations of actual celestial phenomena interpreted through pre-modern scientific paradigms. Perhaps most philosophically challenging is the implication for how we understand knowledge transmission across human history. The tablets suggest sophisticated information could be preserved across immense time spans despite technological limitations and civilizational collapses. This raises questions about what other ancient knowledge might have been transmitted through specialized notation systems we have yet to recognize or decipher.